Welcome back.
Can we have it ready to scrub through and stuff?
Yeah.
Because there's some fun details in this.
Welcome back to I Love You 3000 Minutes. My name is Brian.
I'm Richard.
And this is the podcast that traveled back in time through Tony's sex dungeon, which has time travel technology. You'll understand why I pointed out there's a sex dungeon in a second. But we did that so that we could rewatch the entire Infinity Saga from Iron Man 1 to Spider-Man Far From Home. This is Iron Man 1, and we're in minute 69! I did that on all of the podcasts. And that's why it was a sex dungeon. It just felt right. Mm-hmm. Also, it feels right that Stan Lee's in 69. But, Richard, what happened in this minute?
He begins walking forward on the red carpet. A blonde lady in a nice dress walks up to him. Hi, remember me? And he's like, sure don't. He keeps walking. He says, nice jacket, Hef. And it is kind of it's a red jacket. Is it like a Hugh Hefner jacket? Is it like a smoking jacket?
It's meant to be he misunderstands who he is and thinks it's Hugh Hefner.
Right.
But it's Stanley.
Is Stanley wearing a smoking jacket?
I don't know.
Let's see here.
I don't know what a smoking jacket. He's definitely smoking, because have you ever seen Stanley? Sexy guy.
Mm-hmm.
He has
it's like a smoking jacket.
He has a pipe.
Mm-hmm. He does look pretty Hefner-like.
Yeah, you look great, Hef. Oh, he doesn't call it a smoking jacket, though.
I'm calling it, I believe it's a smoking jacket.
Cool.
That's the kind of... Yeah. So, yeah, it proceeds forward. Let me scroll through. He kind of confrontationally walks up to Obadiah Stane. And Obadiah, the tone of his voice, it's you can hardly tell that he's feigning.
His puberty just reversed. Him hitting puberty just went backwards. Hey!
He's faking pleasant surprise. Okay. It's like, hey, look at you. And
I totally expected you to be here. Yay!
And Tony, what's his line? Gee, what is it when a guy can't get an invite to his own party? Or what was that?
Yeah, you've got it. What's the world coming to when a guy can't?
When a guy's got to crash his own party. Yeah. And so Tony is letting Obadiah know he doesn't feel invited. He's feeling left out, kind of disrespected. And Obadiah reacts like, hey. It's clear that Obadiah has been trying to get the board on their side and to,
On whose side?
On Obadiah's side, on their side, that, like, everything's fine and the company's doing okay. He's been trying to convince them of that.
So he's talking to the reporter and making sure that they think, or trying to reduce the forest fires or whatever. Mm-hmm. But in reality, as we'll find out later, he's doing a coup against Tony, but he plays it as he's trying to look out for Tony so Tony doesn't start sticking his nose around. So him missing that board of directors meeting, totally intentional, just like him missing this party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does start to paint a picture that Obadiah is trying to box Tony out. And he tells Tony, take it slow, all right? I got the board where we want them, as if to say, I've almost got them back to believing in us. That's what he's saying.
In reality, he's saying, I got the board right where I want them. But to respond to your trying to box him out line, we know that from Iron Man 2, Tony's quite a boxer. So,
yep.
Puns. Tons of puns.
Yep. There's a boxing scene.
This isn't fat. It's puns in my stomach.
I'm glad they don't actually fly like out of your mouth like food would. I'm glad they're just like words.
What's with you and saying I'm gonna vomit? Food always goes down with me.
Tony says, just cabin fever, it'll just be a minute, and just walks the heck away from Obadiah Stane. Tony hits the bar, he's grabbing the makings of possibly a martini, and we see Agent Coulson right there, somehow just waiting for him. It's like Agent Coulson was expecting Tony Stark at the Tony Stark hosted benefit. So
who would have thought?
Right. And so he was chilling there, and it's almost the exact same conversation that Coulson had with Pepper Potts. Mm-hmm. I come from the
Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
And Tony's acting like he knew of them when he probably didn't. And Coulson.
Yeah, no, he's just, I think he's a little overloaded by all those different words.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ.
And Tony straight up says, you need a new name for that. And Pepper had the same type of name. Like, that's a mouthful or whatever.
I hear that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Coulson lets him know that they need to debrief him. We don't know what of. Could be something new, something important, but...
it's like pantsing him, but underpantsing him. Get those briefs out of here.
Yay, another sex joke.
That wasn't a sex. I didn't.
Losing your underwear is kind of sexy.
Sounds like a personal preference.
Losing your underwear is sexy, no matter how you cut it. No?
You lose your underwear when you're about to take a shit.
All right, don't turn this around on me as if I'm the one with a dirty mind. You said this debriefing is going to involve Tony Stark.
I just said debrief because I thought it was punny.
Because you thought it was what?
Punny.
I know that. And I said, yeah, it's so fun.
Look, just because this is number 69 doesn't mean all the jokes I'm making are sexual. I promise. Otherwise, I would have been like, debrief. So he's going to box me out of this podcast.
Coulson begins to say there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and the line gets cut off there. So, yep.
Well, man.
It's a fun minute.
Yeah. So that first woman that I was pointing out with the other woman and guy was definitely kind of like fawning over Tony. The second woman's not so much so. The guy's trying to just shake his hand. Mm-hmm. But the second woman just like tosses her hair before we run into that woman who said, remember me. Mm-hmm. Sure don't. And Stanley's actually in the middle of an interview. He's getting red carpet interviewed by a reporter with a cameraman. Trying to see at around 36 seconds if I can spot Pepper or Christine Everard. But no, I couldn't. And I just got to point out, I'm so sorry, dude. But at 38 seconds, this bartender is overacting. It's just like, how many bartenders do you go up to? And, oh, I get it. It didn't show it. It cut it off. But he put down a scotch before Tony got there.
Gotcha.
And Tony said, thank you. And then the bartender's like, I know my boss. I know what he likes. Like, we literally get hired to have the scotch ready with ice in it before you need it.
And the sake.
Or you'll fire me, and I've got kids to support. My wife is a stay-at-home mother.
And also, he has hot sake ready for him on his planes.
Yeah. I literally thought the guy was, like, overacting and just had him come up. He was like, hey, what's going on? Because we didn't get the full shot. We only get, like, a half glimpse of him taking his hand away from the glass before Tony gets there.
Well, it's like...
And putting out a napkin.
Yeah.
So, good job. Good job. Never mind. He wasn't overacting. He was just doing a great job. I was much more looking at the guy at 46, and I was like, look, he's not overacting. But that was just me being unfair at that point.
Another descriptor of this event, it is a charity ball.
Right above something that says gift of the Stark Foundation. So Stark has a foundation.
It seems they gifted that entire building.
But like legit though. Hey, I built you a building. That means I get half price of renting out my building for an event.
And scotch whenever I want it.
Yeah. I forgot to mention in a previous minute, Tony always has a bowl of green apples in the background. It's like constantly replenished. I never see him eat it. But he had it when he was watching the news broadcast.
Gotcha.
There's a bowl of green apples.
I missed that. Let's just see it right now real quick.
Nah, I'm sure we'll get it again.
Okay.
Just like the jukebox.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else for this minute, though?
No. It was just a fun minute. It was fun seeing Jeff Bridges / Obadiah Singh
And he's
acting.
got like a white scarf, too.
Yeah, whatever. Some sort of large ascot.
Do you think he chose that because, like, priests will often have a big white piece of fabric? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know either.
But, like, he kind of sees himself as God. Like, he's got such an ego that he's like, I will style myself like a religious leader.
Could be an ego thing. I don't know if it necessarily is tied to religion or priests, but...
That's just the only place I'd ever seen something so long. Like, if it was just a scarf, I'd be like, oh, he's got a scarf. But it's like a heavy piece of fabric kind of deal.
I don't know, maybe. Maybe that's what they were trying to go for.
Oh, all right. So I'm at 34 seconds just scrubbing through here. And that bartender, who is the best bartender, kind of has his hands together. And then he can't even barely see Tony out of the corner of his eyes at 34 seconds. But he starts turning around, grabs a scotch with ice in it. And then we cut. So it kind of jumps a little bit. Like there's 2 seconds cut out of it. But he's putting down the scotch.
It's like it was ready already.
Yeah, like
he didn't even pour it. He just turned around, grabbed it, and boom. So maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like in a bowl of ice and he was like, this is the Tony Stark thing. We're gonna have have a glass of scotch with ice ready at all times. And then, but literally, he must have been looking through like a plant in his peripheral vision. He doesn't even see it and go turn his head to the right and then do it. He's just like, nope, that's Tony. There it is. And there it is.
And his facial expression says, all right, Tony's here. The party's actually starting now.
I wish they hadn't cut that line out because he's clearly responding to like, great job.